Hello, I came on just about a minute early to make sure that everything was going to be working, and it looks okay so far. So, if you are here watching, and I'm live on Facebook and YouTube, if you will comment, say hello, and let us know where you're watching from. So glad to be here. I'm Lisa Brown with Ink and Inspirations, and it has been a while since I have been live, and I am so glad to be back with you this evening. This is a new time for me. Um, uh, because of our schedule, I had to change it, but we'll see how it works. And it may be better to do evenings. So come on in and get comfortable. I'm going to be showing you a fun card layout using some designer paper. Hey, Pam, thank you for letting me know. And we're going to get started here. Hi, Kathy. Okay, all right. Again, I'm Lisa Brown with Ink and Inspirations, and I am coming live to you tonight on Facebook on Ink and Inspirations with Lisa Brown and on YouTube. And Pam or Kathy, if you would, and if you can, have the ability to share this video on the Ink and Inspirations Stampers group. Hi, Lori, how are you? Okay, all right. So, first off, it's been a while. Uh, it's June. We did some extensive traveling, a pretty long road trip, as most of you know. It's my birthday month. Hi, Nancy. And um, we left probably June the 3rd from Fort Worth, from my daughter's house that lives in Fort Worth. Her family didn't go with us, but we went to the Grand Canyon. I have on my Grand Canyon t-shirt. We went to Sedona. We went to Antelope Canyon in Page. Hi, Karen. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see. We visited Flagstaff and just enjoyed that section of Arizona. And it's okay, Kathy. And really saw some beautiful sights. The Grand Canyon moved me to tears. You know, it's like I'd always seen pictures of it and it's beautiful, but there's nothing like seeing it in person. Hey, Karen. So, anyway, we got back and then I got a really severe sinus infection slash or I had a really bad reaction to the change in altitude. You know, Flagstaff, I believe, is 7,000 feet above sea level, and they kind of warned us about that. But it wasn't until we got back here, and this is Missouri. I mean, and we're in the hills, we're in the Ozarks, but it's not that high. And the whole right side of my face was like throbbing with pain. At first, I thought it was a toothache, but it was like pressure buildup like no other. Anyway, it went away after a few days. Thank goodness. Yesterday, that's okay, Pam. Yesterday, Jackie and I drove home from San Antonio. We left Tuesday for Missouri, went to San Antonio for Jackie's dad's military service um, at the Fort Sam Houston National Cemetery. And so that was really nice. But that was a quick trip, 2 long days on the road. So this afternoon, when I was trying to get set up, it was like, oh, I need a nap, but there wasn't time. So, but it's kind of I got my a little burst of steam, and I'm ready to share with you tonight. So let me get started. I'm gonna put this large where you can see my desktop better. So before we get started with these are the main pieces that I'm using tonight. But the reason I wanted to specifically go over this is because you know we're having our designer series paper sale where most of the papers in the annual catalog are 15% off. So that's a really good deal. I've gotten some stocked up on some more myself. And this goes through the end of June, June 30th, which is my Kathy's birthday, my sister-in-law. So anyway, just remember about that. And we're going to start, you know, I've heard from several people that they they don't really care for 6x6 packs of paper because it's like a waste and they don't know how to use it. Well, we're going to use all of this sheet except for one little piece, okay, like a 3/4 inch square. And this idea I saw from a fellow um, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia, Jackie Williams, and no, New Zealand. She's in New Zealand, I'm sorry. And anyway, I loved it. I thought I have to show my viewers and my customers this because it's a great way to use the designer paper. And you can even cut your 12 by 12 into 4 pieces of 6x6 and do this same technique, which I'm going to do that tonight as well. Okay. All right. So first I have a 6x6 piece of designer paper. This is from the, let me get it, Bright and Beautiful paper pack. I have just this little package of it here, and it's got a lot of the new colors in it, the new core colors. It's a beautiful bright paper, really good for birthdays. But I wanted to do this, and we're going to make like a template. And I suggest that you do this when you learn a new fold or a new technique, to make one to keep in a file so that you can refer back to it. Okay. So we have a 6x6 piece of paper, designer paper. We have 2 pieces of basic white, 4¼ by 5½. And then I have a strip of Melon Mambo, which I just pick a color that I think will look okay with the paper or coordinated. I probably should have picked, what is this? Not powder pink. What is it? Bubble gum. Bubble bath. I always want to say bubble gum. Bubble bath is probably what I should have chose. I can't talk. Okay. So it's 6 in the evening and I'm not used to doing evening videos. So hang in there with me. Okay. All right. So you would need a strip of cardstock that coordinates with your designer paper. Okay. So in fact, let me see if I can grab a piece. Got one right here. I turned my air conditioner off. Y'all, you know, the heat wave going through the country is crazy because it's loud. So I'm going to try to make it through. I might have to turn it on in a little bit if it gets too warm. So I'm going to cut this one at 1/2 inch. Okay. So this can be scrap that you have on hand, or you can just take a piece of cardstock and cut it at 1/2 inch. You can go wider. You can go 3/4 inch, but really this is all you need unless you're going to do some die cutting, a die cut of border there. Okay. All right. So now let's get started with this. Let's work with this piece of designer paper. We're going to cut 1/2 inch off the bottom, and then we're going to score it at 1/2 and 4 3/4. So I am going to get my Simply Scored up here. So if you're just tuning in, thanks for joining us. Okay, put it up here. And we're going to score at 1/2. Now on the Simply Scored, it's every 1/8 inch. Okay. And it comes with this stylus that has a larger ball tip on one end than the other. This smaller tip is for cardstock because it's thicker and heavier. This larger tip is for designer paper so that it won't cut through. Okay. All right. So 1/2 inch and 4 3/4 inch. All right. And I should have cut this first, but it's okay. It won't matter. Let me go ahead and cut 1/2 inch off the bottom. Normally you would do this part first so you wouldn't have the score lines, but it's okay. It'll work. It'll still work this way too. So you're going to cut that off and you're going to save this piece, okay? All right. Okay, so now you have this 1/2 inch score. That's going to be folded back. Okay, so let me get the bone folder and give that a crease. And then we have this side, this 4 3/4 side, and you fold it this way. Okay. Now, this piece here is what you can use to border this right here. Okay. And let it be like a border. You could cut a border and put it there, but I'm just going to show you the basic way to do it. Hi, Diana. So let's look at one of these 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 pieces. We're going to get ready to go. And I'm sitting here thinking, is this what I want to do? And I think it is. So I have this piece too, and I could use that here if I wanted to, or also put that piece here, and then another piece there, like that. Okay. And I know it's going a different way, but that's okay. All right. The directionality is different, but it's kind of cute like that. I like it. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. You're going to take this piece here, and I'm going to put some liquid glue just on the inside here. And I have to tell you, I am sitting. I usually stand to craft, but I'm kind of tired. So I thought, I wonder if I can sit tonight. So let's see, do I want to do this? I think I like it better with like this. So I'm going to line it up on the bottom and use those little triangles to gauge where I want to glue it. Have a little bit too much glue there, but it's going to work. Okay. And then we're just going to trim off this excess. So you see, this is the part that you don't use of the 6 by 6 piece. Is that cool or what? Hey, Catherine. Welcome. All right. Let's do this way. That was upside down. So we have that going. And if you have some peekaboos across up here, you can kind of trim off. I'm going to do it like this. If I see a little piece that's uneven, just run your scissors along the edge of the paper there and clip it off. Okay, so we have that. You could leave it like that, or you could take a contrasting piece. This is bubble bath, and we could go like that. So let's do it, okay? Let's try that. And you do all this, you know, before you start assembling the other part. So in essence, what's going to happen here is this designer paper is the card front. Isn't that cool? The piece of designer paper that's scored and folded, and that 1/2 inch piece that's trimmed off has made the card front. Okay, we're going to trim this off, and I'm going to use that in just a minute. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take this whole, hey Linda, oh, cold and rainy, and we're going to glue that whole piece down like that. And you can do different variations. You can do more strips of paper if you'd like. Okay. So now there we have it. And there's our card front. So this is the card back, one of the pieces. And so what we do here is we're only going to glue this piece right over top of that for the card back. Okay. So let's put some liquid glue there. Yeah, the weather last night when we were driving home from San Antonio, it was scary bad. And I know Houston got some weather. Kathy, did y'all lose power? We were talking to someone in the Woodlands on the phone, and when we were traveling, and she lost power while she was standing there. She goes, oh, I think I need to go get in my safe place. Okay, so we have this now. Now you can leave, this kind of extends a little bit beyond, depending on how accurate your cuts are. You can leave it like that. And then, or you can trim that off, which I'm going to try to do that. That looks like about 1/8 of an inch. And so I'm going to, it's a quarter, let's try 1/8. Yeah, Pam, isn't it a great idea? They had 97. Yes. Yeah, it was Valerie, Kathy, we were talking to. It's like, whoa. I know when we were going through Dallas, in fact, our GPS, instead of taking us through Dallas, took us around like through the Mesquite area. And the rain was horrible. The lightning was horrible. And this is my old adhesive remover, y'all, that I'm trying to get some of this glue off so it's not sticky. Anyway, the weather was so bad that the traffic was crazy and people were going slow. Thank goodness that, I told Jackie, I said, it's a blessing that the weather was a little scary because it made everyone slow down in that traffic, or the traffic made everybody slow down. Some people think they can drive the same speed limit when it's storming. Excuse me. I don't understand that. Okay, so now I have this other piece of basic white. You could leave this like this and have this little piece in the back, but if you want to cover this up, you could glue another piece of basic white here, okay, and then trim it down, or you could do a coordinating piece of cardstock. Right now for this one, because I like how that looks, I'm going to leave it like that. It's clearly up to you. I mean, it doesn't matter. It makes this a little thicker because this is not thick basic white. It makes the card base a little sturdier, and I may end up putting it on there later, but for now I'm going to leave it off. Okay. Now I'm going to take this other strip that I had left over from the 11-inch piece, and I'm just going to center that just like that and use that on the inside. So the only waste, or the only piece that we are going to discard, was that little 3/4 or 1/2 inch square of the designer paper. And other than that, you've used the whole 6x6 for the card front. Okay. So once you make one like this, you can sometimes I'll write on the inside of the card with the dimensions and things so that I remember. Okay. So like I can stick these in here, my Post-its. I love my Post-its, so that I can remember. Okay. And then put it in a little file. Okay. So you can go back and make it. I'm not going to finish this card out. I just wanted to show you the step-by-step of the basic, and we're going to do another one. Okay. I'm going to show you another card where I'm going to use a piece of the designer paper. Now this is a full sheet here from the Masterfully Made Designer Series paper. And what I did is I cut it at 6 this way and 6 this way, so then I can get 4 cards to make a card like this. Okay. All right. So I've already got that cut. So let me show you what I'm using. And I've got some samples to show you at the end too. I am using these products from the Masterfully Made Suite, page 102 and 103 from the catalog, annual catalog. Gorgeous, gorgeous paper. This paper is on sale too. And I'm using a sentiment from the stamp set, and then some of the dies. These 2 foliage, and then this one kind of a spiral cut looking. It'll be the first time that I'm using it, so we're experimenting. We're flying by the seat of our pants a little bit, so let's get going with it, okay? All right. Pulling out my pieces and trying not to drop anything. Okay, so let's get this piece ready. Okay, isn't that pretty? Thank you, Diana. All right, so first we're going to do what? We're going to cut off 1/2 inch from the bottom. Okay. Now in this case, if you wanted to keep all of the little stem pieces here, you could do this and it's still 1/2 inch and you'd have this piece. Y'all want to do that? Let's try that. My sample that I'll show you in a minute. Is that 1/2? That's 1/4. Lisa. Let's try this so I don't cut off any of the stems. So here's our extra piece. Okay. All right. Now we're going to score at, who remembers, 1/2 and 4 3/4. So, you know what I like about this is when you, after you've done several, it's kind of like second nature. But then once you start trying other cards and making all different kinds of designs and folds, you know, we forget. So if you keep a little template, you'll be good to go next time. 4 3/4. It just looked funny to me for a minute there. Next time you want to make one of these, you'll have your little template. You can put it together. Okay. All right, so this one we're going to fold back the little 1/2 inch. This is probably my favorite print in this paper stack. It's kind of like, I don't know if y'all remember, but when I started paper crafting and card making, we would do the ripped paper technique. That's what this is like. All ripped for the stems, and then for these are layered ripped pieces of paper, and then they photographed it. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, so now we have this, okay, and then we have to think about what we're doing here. So this color here is Melon Mambo. I've cut on this one, I have a 3/4 inch piece, and then I have this 1/2 inch piece. So I could do this, okay, but let's see, what am I going to do? I think I'm just going to I'm going to try using this little spiral cut. I love this. This die right here is great for, like, if you like to do the junk journaling. Those are really cool. Okay, let me get my mini boss in here. And I'm going to, will this fit on the 1/2 inch? It will. Will that give me enough room to glue? Let me try it. And I have that other piece if it doesn't. Okay, so on this, we're going to put that right there. And I wish I had my Post-it tape handy. But I'm going to try it like this. And I'm staggering the ends. That's not going to stay, Lisa. Let me grab my Post-it tape. We're going to stagger the ends of those cutting plates. All mini bosses are not created equal. Some are a tighter roll through here, a tighter fit than others, and you kind of have to experiment with yours to see the best sandwich to use and how to adjust your plates. Okay. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to try it on this 1/2 inch piece, y'all, just to see. And then I can recut if I need to. Okay, so I've staggered the ends, and I'm just going to start rolling it through. And here we go. Okay. Oh, that's really, oh. See, I saw this piece and I thought that is a very thin piece to put a piece of glue on. If it was wider, if I would have cut it from this, I would probably have 2 pieces to work with there. Okay, so I'm going to pull this piece off. And I'm going to take this. I love this little faux stitching. I don't want to glue it underneath. I think I'm going to glue it on top. Don't y'all think? And on this one, I'm not going to use another piece of this, the designer paper. I like how that Melon Mambo looks just over that, don't you? I mean, I know everybody likes something different, but let's try it like this. Let me get this out of the way. I'll have to die cut again in a minute, so I'm going to leave that there. Where's my glue? Is this it? Here it is. Okay. So I'm going to put instead of gluing on the bottom like I did before, I'm going to glue on the top. So let me go ahead. And I'm not even going to trim this yet. See, I cut it out of that 1/2 by 11-inch piece. And I'm just going to line it up like that. And then just trim this off. Looky there. I'm letting that set a minute, y'all, so I don't move it. I love this die cut. Okay. Let's save that in case we need it. So now, okay, that's pretty cute. All right, so let's go ahead and assemble. You know, we've got our I've cut 2 pieces of the basic white. We're going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. I like how that looks. So let's put some glue there, and maybe so these don't get flipped up too bad, I'm going to put a little glue on these. Okay, let's go for it. I'll hold it down a minute. Okay. Oh, I like it. All right. Now we're going to take this. We're going to slide that in there. Put just a little bit of glue on this 1/2 inch score. I'm going to slide this baby as far as I can in there. I've got some excess though, I see. Sometimes I'm just a hair off when I cut. Do y'all ever do that? I mean, look down here. It's like, where is that coming from? Okay, so now I have a little bit of, that's about 1/8 of an inch at the bottom. So let's cut that. So while I'm doing this, ooh, it's kind of scary. Let me do it. Ah, there we go. I'm going to try to start doing a video on Saturday morning. It won't be live, but I'm going to call it Saturday Share. And share either cards that I've gotten in the mail, or maybe a simple card design, you know, that I make. It won't be too long, but it'll be pre-recorded and it'll be on YouTube. Okay. So if you aren't subscribed to my channel, if you're not on YouTube, okay, that's a little hangover right there. I am not going to mess with that. I'm going to leave that like it is. Okay. I got Slice happy there. So anyway, Saturday morning, I think I'm going to do, it'll go live at 10 a.m. It won't be a live or a premiere or anything, but I hope that you can count on seeing that on Saturday morning. And I will, I'll probably set it up as an event. Okay, I like it. I think that's pretty. Okay, so now I'm going to finish out this card. Okay. All right, let's see. I still have this piece. Let's go ahead and use it. This is the extra, all that's left of the 6x6 piece of paper. Remember, on this one we cut from a 12x12 piece, and you would get 4 cards, card fronts. Okay, I'm just going to go about 1/4 of an inch from the edge, and this right here is the only waste from the 6x6. Don't you love that? I mean, sometimes I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to do with this strip of paper? Now, I always find a use, but look, that's it, and that's going in the garbage. There we go. Okay, so there we have that, and then again, if you want to, you could put another piece of cardstock on the back to make it a better weight. And I will definitely probably do this on this one. Okay. All right. So let me see. Let me get I have some lemon lime twist, and this color right here is Sweet Sorbet, one of last year's in colors. Narisa, thank you. How are you doing? So anyway, I'm going to cut these. I cut these not too big so that it'll go through my mini boss because I love using it. Okay. All right, let's see. I'm going to get my dies, and I'll show you the rest of them here. So they have this little, like a washi tape label. Great, Narisa. And then these two are what we're going to use. And then look at this cool thing. You know, we have this border that we just used. This is like to mimic a torn paper. You know how we used to tear and try to make it uneven? That's what that is. And I'll show you a card with that in just a minute when I get through with this one. Okay, so let's cut. I'm going to cut this one from this piece. And a good size for these dies to cut your cardstock is 3 1/4 or 3 1/2 by 4. These little machines are so lightweight and so easy to carry around. I'm so happy that many of our dies go through the little one. I like the big one too, but this is just convenient when I'm moving it in and out. Okay, I'm going to start poking through this to get the die loose. You know, you have these little dots here that you can poke through to release it. These larger pieces come out. Those are discards. But these little holes help you release your cardstock, your cut cardstock from the die. So let's do this and then we can finish. Okay. So most of this are just little cuts in those little leaves. Isn't that a pretty die? Okay. So Jackie went fishing. It's kind of late for him to fish, but the fishing time, you know, there's a time to start and stop fishing. He can fish till 8:30. So we're having company this week. Kristen, my oldest Kristen, and her family are coming, and some of their friends, and then some other friends are coming and staying in the campground. So it's going to be busy, but fun. So fun, so fun. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside, and then I'm going to cut this leafy one. Okay? All right, let's do this. Bring the mini boss back in. Y'all know this is really the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I just call it mini boss for short. Okay, so stagger those plates. And on this one, since I have plenty of paper, I don't have to secure it down. And you could use Post-it notes for that, or I order that Post-it tape from Amazon. I'm sure you can find it other places too. All right, so here's this. Let me get rid of this. And poke all this out. See, real easy. It cuts like a charm. Okay, so I think I'm done with this for now. Let me move it. Okay, so now let's bring our card back in. And then I'm going to start arranging. And there's something else I wanted to do too. Oh, I have that little washi tape die. I already cut it from Fresh Freesia because that's that color. Okay. And I'm going to stamp a thank you sentiment on a scrap piece of basic white. I always keep these strips that I cut off of the edges of the paper. So let's go ahead and do that. this is Thank You. It's from that same Gorgeously Made stamp set. And I'm just going to stamp it right there. Then I'm going to make this like this. And I'm cutting out the two words. And I'm going to give it a pretty good trim. This is just a fun way to add some interest to your sentiment by cutting the words apart. It's also good, like if you're limited on the space where you're wanting to adhere it, you can kind of stagger them. And this is not the case here, but I'm going to kind of center it. And so let me cut these in half. And don't worry about getting it exactly straight. It's okay. Okay, let's see. All right, let's do this. And then here's the U. All right. And so now I'm going to let that dry just a little bit, and then I'm going to work with these babies. So this, I'm going to put that like that. I know I'm covering up the flowers, but I like the dies. I mean, I could just use that one. What do you think? Should I just use the lemon lime, or should I put the sorbet one too? Let's see. If I do it like that, what do you think? The one or the two? I'll wait just a minute. Well, this is drying. I'm going to put that on in just a minute. I know there's a delay, so I have to kind of wait if y'all are going to answer. What do you think? One die like that, or both of them? Both. Maybe just lemon lime. Okay, because I cut it, I think I'm going to go ahead and use it. But this would look good too, because, you know, I see both sides, you know, this right here. But to me, I feel like there's something missing, even with all that going on. Okay, let me see. Both. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put this one down first, and I'm going to put it more toward this way, where it's not covering up the flower so much. And I probably could have gone very simple with and just done a sentiment on this. But I was so excited to use these pretty dies that I had to cut them out and try them. And that's what my sample has too. So, but usually, like when you have a really gorgeous designer paper, you know, it's like, why hide it? Just put a sentiment and go. I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to do this and see if we can still see the flowers. How about that? Okay. I'm going to hold that down just a little bit, and then we're going to put our sentiment over top. This particular suite is like supposed to be overload. You know, it's like the paper is over the top, the dies are, you can see there's just a lot going on there. And with the, you know, the border edges, it's just that kind of card. Okay, I'll move my die here. Now I'm going to get, these are the coordinating sequins, adhesive back sequins trio in Bubble Bath. What is this? Pretty Peacock and white. So let me see. The way I did this before is I put, I'm going to see what this looks like. I'm going to try it out this time. I'm using 5. And then I'm going to use 3 of a different color. These are part of the suite, so the colors are like supposed to go with it. And let's see, one more right here. Okay, there's that card. I like it. It is a great way to use the designer paper. They are, hey Patty. Okay, so there's that. Let me show you the original one I did. Here's this one. See how I moved it more this way and I used pink sequins and white sequins? I like this one better with this going that way and me seeing the flowers. Don't you? Okay, thank you. Okay, let me show you some others done with this same design. Okay. Excuse me. All right, this one I used Courage and Faith. And thank you, Karen. Thank you, Karen, both Karens. And I did this using the inked botanicals 6x6 paper. So I just cut this out with the deckled rectangles and folded that back. That's Lost Lagoon and crushed curry. See there? I mean, just, okay. And then I have another one here with an kind of an oldie but goodie with the Share a Milkshake bundle. And here I have it with the ice cream, Celebrate, but I used the bright and beautiful paper. And I had all of these already die cut and stamped left over from when I did that in the mini, you know, when it was live in the mini. And it did carry over. So I just love it. And I love this. And also, look what I did here. Let me find it. I used my basic borders dies. See this little zigzag rickrack looking one? See, I cut the extra piece of designer paper. I cut it with that border. You only see a little bit of it, but you can see it. Thank you, Karen. And then here's, I did the strip of bubble bath cardstock, and then I did my border. And this is in this side of the designer paper. Okay, that's what that border is. Okay, and then I have one more. This is also done with the Masterfully Made designer paper, but I use circle sayings. And here, what I did is I used the piece of piece of designer paper that was extra and put it there. And then I had another piece, okay, laying just in my package that I used. And here you can barely see it, but it's the Pretty Peacock, this border here from Basic Borders. You know, and I could have just used a straight strip of cardstock, you know, and it's busy there, but I thought these flowers went well with this. Okay, and Berry Burst. And then I used the mauve, is it Moody Mauve? Yeah, Moody Mauve ribbon behind it because I thought it was a good subtle look. Okay. All right, there are our cards tonight. I want to know who is going to make one of these just as soon as possible. I know you've got to try it. You've got to try it. Um, so if you are on Facebook, I have a private group, Ink and Inspiration Stampers, and you have to request membership, and we share on there. So you can share your cards that you make. So give it a try. Go over. I will, if you're on YouTube, I will put those links, the links to the designer paper sale and the link to the Ink and Inspiration Stampers group will be there. You go over there, request to join. You have to answer 2 questions. That's how I keep the trolls out. You know, some people want in there that have no business in there. And so anyway, and come on in and you can share. I'll say, okay, let's see your cards, and I'll post this one that I did. And let's see it. Thank you. Okay. All right. Y'all have a great weekend. And remember, YouTube Saturday morning, I'm going to do my best to get a video up there. It's going to be called Saturday Morning Share, and it'll be different. Depending on what I have in stock or what I want to share with you or show you. And like I said, it could be, I have a stack of cards that we have received from people for Jackie's dad passing and for my birthday, and that I want to share. So I'm going to do that probably not this Saturday, maybe next Saturday. Okay. And, but it'll be a pre-recorded video. So be sure you subscribe to my YouTube channels and click the little bell so you'll get notification of when I do other videos. Okay. All right. Great. Great. Good, Linda. Can't wait to see it. Okay. Y'all have a great evening, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Take care. Bye bye.